Bakyun. Good evening, morning, night, everybody. I am Siena Valentine, love itself, semi-alcoholic Cupid at your service. Today we're going to be playing Chrysanthemum, a part of the Otome game celebration. Apologies for the breaks 2 days in a row. I wanted to be able to play every day during the celebration, but unfortunately some stuff got in the way. But yeah, joining you tonight with Chrysanthemum on the way to sweet dreams. Looking forward to this. It is based after key visual anime and visual novels like Clannad and Air. My favorite key visual game is Canon, so I'm looking forward to this. Also love Little Busters as well. Make sure to check out key visual video games and anime after this stream if you'd like. And of course, check out Chrysanthemum on the way to sweet dreams. All of the links are available below for Onecellteam Socials, as well as the demo is out on Steam for Chrysanthemum. Please make sure that you give it all of its support. This is going to be a dark slice of life story, which I'm incredibly looking forward to. I don't feel as though media gets dark at all anymore, and it's what I grew up with, so I'm really looking forward to enjoying this. Without further ado, let's get started. Let's see. Kuzon? Yes, sir. An elusive yet so captivating fragrance of chrysanthemums fascinated me. I wanted to bury my face into the petals. Better feel the herbal, slightly bitter aroma. Inhale, and it's all your worries vanish into it. Forget about who you are, leaving all your troubles and sorrows behind. I wish I could stay in this enchanting world forever. But time is relentless, just as relentless and merciless as life itself. Sorry, I was just lost in thought. It's okay. Zoya was looking cautiously at the bouquet of chrysanthemums, which I was holding in my hands. What a scent! I held out the bouquet. Zoya hesitated a bit before tucking a strand of her hair behind her ear and carefully leaning in towards the flowers. Oh my gosh, everyone's so cute! This is what anime is about. Oh my god. In a flash, a smile spread across her lips. Yeah, nice one. Not too intense. It's quite pleasant. It's settled in. I'll get the chrysanthemums. Thanks for not running away. Zoya giggled. How could I leave you? You would have stayed here forever. That's for sure. How long have you been at the florist? For about an hour, right? During these times, we wandered through shelves lined with roses and peonies. We looked at the daisies and orchids. After we stood next to beautiful cacti with blue and purple spines, we went back and forth between bouquets of asters, cornflowers, sunflowers, and chamomile. And I didn't like any. And then, as if by magic, they were there. Chrysanthemums of every kind, big and small, red, white, and yellow, filling the whole corner. How didn't we notice them sooner in such a tiny shop? And only thanks to Zoya, I would have just simply passed them by. That Willie turned the bouquet over in my hands, the snow white petals whirling around like dancing ballerinas. What color do you think Sensei would like? I have no idea. Zoya glanced back over the shelf. She always pretended to be deep in thought whenever she wanted to avoid talking or was too unsure to speak up. If this didn't involve Sensei, I wouldn't have been so indecisive, really. But then we are going to give a special bouquet to a special man. On an ordinary day, everything changes. Can't think straight. Your thoughts cloud your mind, leaving behind a thick mental fog. Zoya wasn't feeling well today either. She had faint circles under her eyes, a nervous smile, and was constantly fiddling with the sleeve of her dress. I should not have listened to her and let her tag along with me. I need to let Zoya get some sleep. I could sit next to her until she sleeps so that the nightmares she's been having lately won't bother her anymore. Oh well, it is what it is. Means I should hurry up and finish with the flowers. That's all I can do right now. I'll go ask the florist. I'm coming with you. There was a fierce, unwavering loyalty in her eyes, like a knight protecting her king with all she had. Well, I am her only friend after all. But Zoya is my only friend too. Sometimes I also just want to be next to her and not let her go anywhere. Who knows what dangers are out there? I wanted to make other friends at school, but Zoya was the only one who truly became a friend. I guess it's because both of us transferred schools halfway through last year, and everyone else in the class had already split up into groups. Oh well, one loyal friend is better than a bunch of acquaintances who won't even let you copy their homework. Okay, let's go. Flora was at the checkout speaking on her phone. Surprisingly, I couldn't understand a word. It was as if Flora's booming and stern voice was being absorbed by a vacuum. All I could hear was sharp hissing sounds. Seems like she isn't speaking her native language. I wonder if she's an islander or just calling her relatives at home. With her tan skin and dark hair braided in the style of the locals, it's not so easy to tell. I look over at Zoya. She kept glancing at the wall clock, then as if she'd felt my eyes on her, she turned and tapped her wrist with her index finger. Well, the school bell won't wait for us. I'll have to interrupt her. We came closer. She was clearly anxious, so much that she didn't even notice us. She kept going on and on to the phone, suddenly squeezing it so tightly as though she might crush it. Zoya gave me a nudge and I instinctively put the bouquet on the table. Flora's expression cleared, though and fired off a couple more sharp remarks, hung up and hastily smiled. How may I help you? Her face relaxed as she turned back the clock by a decade. Cleared my throat, my heart was racing as if I was getting ready for a long run. Sorry to bother you. I wanted to ask, could you tell me, please, which chrysanthemums are better to gift? No one glanced at the white chrysanthemums on the table. Oh no, what did I distract her from an important conversation? Why did I bring the bouquet to the cashier if I'm not sure about the color? What if you're not allowed to touch things you're not going to buy? My hands were sweating. I quickly wiped them off on my skirt. I was about to apologize for taking the bouquet. The woman broke into a smile again. It's not often that people pick chrysanthemums as a present. Her eyes gleamed with a genuine curiosity. Dodged a bullet. Why's that? Flora let her hand glide across the flowers. The petals seemed to cling to her fingers like they didn't want to let go. There's a lot of symbolism in this flower. Some of it is quite conflicting. Right, hidden meanings. How can I forget about them? Could you tell us about them? Holding my breath, I stared intently at the woman. I don't know how much she loved her job, but judging by her charming voice, she could definitely have a passion for storytelling. Do you really want to know? I nodded enthusiastically. The florist smiled dreamily. Alright, I'll tell you about the most famous ones. In some countries, chrysanthemums are a symbol of sorrow. People lay them on graves. In others, they symbolize friendship and strong bonds. And in Japan, chrysanthemums become a symbol of wealth, purity, and nobility. My favorite legend is the one about an evil dragon who wanted to steal the sun, but when he was carrying it, he burnt his paws. Enraged, the dragon began to tear the sun into pieces. The sections of it which fell into the earth became white chrysanthemums. I feel like I've heard that one before. I used to have like a collection of books when I was, well, a collection of stories when I was a kid, and it had like different stories with dragons. Like, culturally across cultures. I wonder if that was one of the ones I read. I don't remember anymore, though. That's why people gave them when they want to sincerely and honestly show their feelings. Suddenly, the woman snapped out of it, as if remembering what she was doing. I quickly followed suit. Everything felt alive again. The smell of the flowers filled the air, and everything shone brightly. Sorry, I got carried away. The color and quantity depend on the occasion. Why do you want to purchase the bouquet? I smiled and confidently pulled a bunch of chrysanthemums toward me. 7 bright buds, like solar sparks that had fallen to the earth, swung mesmerizingly. It was fate that brought me to them. Thank you, but I already made up my mind. Damn, up to 70% off? This is a good florist. When I left the shop, it felt like a whole another world. Ton of flowers in. Look weird? Lakered would disappear. The warmth vanished, making way for a cool breeze. There was not a soul in sight, except for a single car which passed by. The bakery's sign swayed in the wind. When I came here last year, I thought the town was abandoned. The only scientists, military personnel, and doctors live here, and we were sent out here as prisoners. No, if you look closely, you'll see a group of kids with school bags, people laying out baked rolls or fruit they've collected. Zoya, who was looking at me with great concern. It's freezing today. Maybe we should stop by the dorm so you can change? Let's not waste any time. They said it'll be better by lunchtime. I'll warm up while walking anyway. Aren't you cold? Zoya shook her head. You can still see the worry in her eyes. Lifted her hands, which she desperately tried to hide. Her usually pale fingers were bright red as if she had just dipped them into a pot of boiling water. She is freezing herself, yet still worries about others. How can that be? Wanted to go to Zoya, take her hands, and warm them up right away. No way, I still remember her reaction when I tried to hug her once. So happy after passing my exam, so I rushed to hug her. Zoya looked at me with such a fright and looked at it as something horrible had happened. Since then, no matter how much I wanted to touch her, I had to hold myself back. So I just sighed heavily and checked if Chrysanthemums were wrapped securely. Well, good. At least they were safe and sound. So, off to school? Wait. Huh? Zoya's face suddenly changed. She bit her lip and looked at me even more anxiously. Even the circles under her eyes started to look darker. My heart sank. Could it really be that nightmares were just the tip of the iceberg? What happened? Zoya looked her way, her hands gripping her skirt. Sorry for not telling you earlier. Nobel, my brother, is coming today. So a heavy burden was lifted from my shoulders. So that's why she's so anxious. That's why she keeps glancing at the clock, even though, unlike me, she was never in a hurry for classes. Yeah. Hello. It is based after, Clanad and other key visual anime and visual novels. So the style is, like, super retro, and I really dig it. I wonder if her nightmares have anything to do with her brother's arrival. Did something happen between them in the past? Or is it me just making stuff up because Zoya's news had caught me off guard? No, she was looking at me with a guilty look as though she was waiting to confess something. She looked so cute and innocent, I couldn't help but laugh. Her design is really so cute. So cool. What's fine? Do you need any help? You're not angry that I didn't tell you? It did not sting a bit, but not because Zoya hadn't told me earlier. I'm used to people not trusting me with their secrets. Besides, I didn't tell Zoya much about myself either. What upset me more is that due to this small misunderstanding, I could miss such an important event in my friend's life. It's great Zoya decided to share the news with me after all. I know! It's so adorable. Like, the two braids, and then I like the violet, blue, purple kind of hair. It's, like, so cute. And then I really like blouses. So I love this design. Buy me a chocolate and we're even. We smiled at each other. So, let's have to buy 2 or maybe even 3 chocolates. We got to go and pick them up now. The smile faded from my face. I didn't have time to process what she said and smile reassuringly again, making Zoya sad. Sorry, I'll go by myself. It's just that we never go out of town, so I'm sorry. It's alright. I was lying this time. Welcome a newcomer to the island. You need to get to the pier by bus and then come back the same long way. Wait, making back in time for school, but I won't be able to give him the flowers. I didn't tell Zoya I wanted to give the flowers to Sensei before the lessons. If I did, she would have never admitted that she needed help. No, I had a tough choice to make. My heart ached. Zoya had a temperature. She never asked me for help. Even when she had to rewrite her whole notebook after I fell into a puddle, she still didn't ask. After all, her life motto is, I can handle everything on my own. Yeah, she has like a nice older sister vibe. I feel like it's like some kind of symbolism for her character so far. Seems like the main character said, she likes to just deal with things on her own. Like, just started, but personally I feel like she should be the main character instead so far. Now, Zoya had asked for help. Besides, it would be our first time leaving the research town. You need to find the bus stop, catch the right bus, not get lost. How could I send her alone? And why does Zoya even have to pick her brother up? Everyone coming to Anomaly Island is accompanied. Anomaly Island does not sound like a safe island to live on. Stop, of course. Wait, isn't a guide supposed to meet Noble? Or Nobel? Zoya just sighed softly. I knew you would ask. He is, but Nobel arranged for me to pick him up. Wow, he's so brave and full of himself that he managed to break the status quo. There's no ways out, so I shut Zoya. On the contrary, spoke out confidently. We can leave the bouquet at the library. There are a lot of the other plants there, so no one will notice it. You can take it after school and give it to Sensei. It looks like she thinks I'm only worried about where to put the chrysanthemums. She's so kind, so... Sure, I'll always help her and never betray her. But you really don't need to come with me. I won't get mad. I can handle it all myself. If I get lost, I'll call you. Right next to Backrooms Island, like for real. You're so sneaky, you know that? This time her smile had a sly, fox-like edge to it. Oh, is there Yuri in this game? I hope so. Me? Sneaky? Not one bit. But I really did drag it out too long. I even thought about going alone after all. I really don't know what's gotten into me. I wonder if I can wipe your memory. Fortunately, there's only one person around here who can do that. Indeed. Do you mean that, like, literally? Can people wipe memories on this island? For real. I want some Yuri in a hurry. So he did decide to go to school? I wouldn't take any offense. Zoya repeated. This time her voice sounded more confident. My thoughts were scattered like leaves in the wind. What should I do? Save here. Oh, what button do I save? Oh, quick save to... There we go. I'm going with Zoya. I don't give a fuck about Sensei, I don't know him. You can't leave your friend when you're in trouble, especially if they are your only friend. Oh, I really hope the librarian doesn't spot our stowaway flowers. Zoya looked at me in disbelief. Why are you surprised? Did you really think I would leave you? No, Thank you. Zoya smiled so sincerely and gratefully. I had just promised to make her biggest wish come true. Smile so precious, I'd trade the world to see it. Let's go! Finally got to the checkpoint. Stubby little security booth and fence. This was all that separated us from the rest of the world. Still, I feel like we were about to go up against a bunch of intimidating guards who would never let us leave. They would catch us and put us in the underground cells to conduct experiments on us for the rest of our lives. Gee, hold out your hand. Oh, you can click on this? Oh my god. It really is like a key visual game. I didn't notice that you can click on them. I'm so stupid. Oh my god. Cool. Oh, there's a menu here for big saves. There we go. Yeah, even the UI is very similar, actually. Looked away from the tall fence and faced towards Zoya. Turns out the checkpoint guy had been standing next to her for a long time now. I'm really sorry. See the fatigue in his eyes. The guard sighed as if he was coming to terms with something and held out his hand. It's fine. Almost everyone reacts like this, looking around like scared rabbits. Oh, come on. You know perfectly well you're free to visit the island anytime. Of course we know, but... when we've been locked up for such a long time, freedom feels like something forbidden, something wrong. Is this like Angel Beats 2? Why is everyone locked up? That's kind of scary. What's going on this island? It's our first time going out, so this feels strange. To avoid angering the guard further, I quickly extend my hand in response. It'll sting a little. I wasn't done mentally preparing myself for the pain. When I felt the burning sensation, it was as if the swarm of wasps had all stung at once. What the fuck are they injecting in you? I screamed. Zoya rushed at me, grabbing my other hand and caressing my palm. It'll be alright soon. Hang on, G. I bit my lip. The guard did the same to Zoya. She didn't make a sound. How embarrassing. Gritting my teeth, I waited for the man to finish his job. I didn't compare them to wasp stings for no reason. It felt as if the checkpoint guard had released thousands of tiny insects under our skin, capable of tracking us, the anomalies. What the fuck? We don't return by the end of the day. The ironclad rule for anyone leaving this town. They will send a team to search for us. What is wrong with you children? We will return around night and follow this island clown. If someone breaks in and stays all around the island, a search party is formed. No one has ever escaped. Oh my god. Usually community what's going on here? Even if we were 1,000 miles away, the guard could track us down. Wonder how long it would work for. A day? A week? Pain from the sting was getting worse. I was on the verge of tears. No way, crying is the last thing I do. So scared to have been seeing that I managed to get a hold of myself. To have been seen crying that I managed to get a hold of myself. There was a way to avoid such a painful procedure. Remember, some kids had sneaked out past the guard, climbed over the fence, and disappeared for a couple of days. Yeah, I like it too. Especially, like, this was how it was a lot back then when I was growing up, where it'd be like, where's like such a cute little anime? And then, like, it would be like the most fucked up thing ever. So I really like the nostalgia factor. Where the fence had disappeared for a couple days. Of course they were found. There was no escaping the island, and the search team were equipped to do the fullest. The kids were hungry, tired, and crying, yet they still don't avoid additional punishment. I think they were made to learn all the island's rules by heart. They were also told a lot of stories about naughty boys and girls going to the deep forest and never returning. They gave the kids a lot of sweets and let them in peace. I haven't heard of any rule breakers since. That's for the best. The rules were made for a reason. They try to make life on the island as safe as possible, so it's in our best interest to follow them. Will you make it for the start of class? His lips were pursed in a thin line, but a smirk lingered in his eyes. Does he want us to get in trouble? Fucking freak. My thoughts grew quiet and I rubbed my hand. The pain dulled, but it was still there. We will. So I kept holding my hand, even stepping forward towards the guard like a mother protecting her child. The man grunted and nodded. Alright, but if they start looking for you, I won't cover for you. Oh, and good luck with welcoming the new boy. How does he know? Looked at Zoya. She looked staring at the guard with the same stunned expression as me. I have eyes and ears everywhere. Are you made of bees? Bet you he's full of bees. Well, it was really not that much astonishing. Anyone from the scientist team could have told him about it. Maybe even our school's principal, who was the co-creator of the Anomaly Research Project, could have informed them. Have a nice trip. See you next fall, bitch. When we went back into his security booth, we both breathed a sigh of relief. If I hadn't been sick the whole summer vacation, I would have had plenty of time to explore the island and could have gotten used to going without feeling guilty. Why are you looking at me like that? 'Cause you pretty. What do I say right now? She could insist that everything's fine. Nothing, don't worry about it. Zoe looked at me skeptically, but didn't push me further. We should totally visit the island again. No waiting until the holidays. Maybe we should skip a lesson during the week or miss a medical examination over the weekend. Headed towards the bus stop, filled with determination. Fortunately, getting there wasn't too hard. The road meandered a bit, making us climb uphill at times and ease downhill at others, so we didn't pick up too much speed. At least the road didn't branch off anywhere. Almost said peed, I'm sorry. The bus stopped like a lone island in the middle of the backwoods. The road sign was covered in rust. The road itself wasn't in the best shape either. The asphalt was cracked like an eggshell with ruts and potholes scattered here and there. It's a good thing the bus wasn't there yet. The stop was so overgrown that drivers usually just stopped right by. You have to look out for them and wave your arms, trying to catch their attention. Pulled the phone out of my pocket. There was plenty of time. Zoya making me wake up earlier wasn't for nothing at all. By the way, where is Zoya, that sly fox? I looked around to find Zoya patiently waiting for a bus. Straight posture, fingers intertwined, a faint half smile. She looked just like a princess waiting for her Prince Charming. I stand like this a lot, IRL. I have no idea that if it comes across this way. I just stand like this. Couldn't help but laugh. Zoya instantly gave me a curious look. What is it? I could look at you forever. Oh my god. There's so much flirting between them so far. How are we even supposed to have any other choices? She blushed, her eyes darted back and forth. Oh, good thing I chose to go with Zoya. If I'd gone to school, who knows what would have happened. What if I couldn't give the bouquet to Sensei, or drop the flowers on the way? Anything could have happened. Now, even if something does happen, I'm not alone, and Zoya's puzzled expression was so worth it. When my friend didn't know what to do with herself, another gust of wind tossed her braids like satin ribbons. They went up in the air before gently floating back down. I wonder what color Noble's hair is. And the ability. How did he acquire it? The ability. I stood there idly, but my thoughts began to pile up like a snowball. There was so much I wanted to ask, but I was too afraid to scare Zoya. Like, I don't know if anybody's seen it, but it's that one picture with Barnacle Boy, and it just goes, the ability, because it's from like a Fate post. That's what I think about when I see that. I can ask at least one question. When did Noble get his abilities? His smile stiffened, if I say it as if set in stone. You know, I had to do it to him. It's like very, very, very similar in vibes and like tone that you read it in, but it's like different. Oh wait, oh you meant her stance. Yeah. It is like that. I'm sorry I didn't ask. I was just wondering, how soon did you find out everything? No need to apologize. You can ask if you're curious about something. We found out something very quickly. Perhaps too quickly. Oh my god. There's an engine sound in the ditches. Looks in the distance. Looks like our bus is finally coming. Feeling braver, I decided to ask one more question. Did he tell you himself, or did someone tell you? He rarely shares anything himself, so I was told by others. Yes, first check mark on the things the twins have in common list done. Oh, it's her twin. Wanted to return to the first question as Oya still hadn't answered, but the bus was already approaching. Clouds of exhaust smoke billowed up, like from powerful steamboat. I was afraid they simply wouldn't notice us. You wanted them to hit you? When I waved our arms for a moment, I even forgot that I was holding a bouquet, but I managed to catch it just in time and straighten the tangled ribbons. Eventually, the bus stopped. Port was written on a plate next to the windshield. It's only a sign in the island's local language that I had learned to read. That was only because there was an English translation underneath. Oh, I wonder what language it's in. The doors flew open with a loud noise. We carefully entered in, as though stepping into the lair of the beast. Despite our initial reservations, there was nothing remarkable about the buzz, except for the beautiful amulets hanging above the driver's head, so we quickly settled down. I wiped my fogged-up glasses and pressed my face up against the window full of curiosity. Questions about Noble can wait. Now it's time... Nobel. Blah, blah, blah. Now it's time to enjoy the view. Oh, it's shaped like a moon. That's neat. Libertas Island lies far out at the sea. Some say it looks like a giant whale flickering its long tail. Others search the island closer resembles a crescent moon. Well, I'm on the crescent moon sign. I'm not seeing the whale. Maybe I'm just dumb. Small island in the Pacific Ocean shaped like a crescent moon. Some say it looks like a new Bermuda Triangle. Shrouded in the island, it's popular with the tourists. In legends and popular with tourists, it's hard to get to the island due to the harsh sea winds and dense fog surrounding it. Due to the shaky ground and all the swamps, there is no railway or airport. A distinct feature on the island is the abandoned lighthouse that no one in the town talks about. Is everything okay here? I know the answer's probably no. And some even see it as an Ouroboros. Say that if you include the abandoned lighthouse, it links the two halves of the island, closing the loop and explaining where all of the misfortunes come from plague-stricken villages to burnt temples. I think one of our teachers once told us that the last comparison was made by tourists, inspired by local legend. Speaking of tourists, thanks to the island's peculiar shape and its many folk stories, Libertas has attracted quite a bit of attention. But that didn't mean it was easy to get there. Due to the many towns and temples, forests and swamps, shaky ground, and harsh climate, an airport was never built. The railway also bypassed the island, unlike the neighboring peninsulas. Aww. That's why everyone arrived by ferry, although even that wasn't common. Times a thick fog would curl around the island. It puzzled the ship captains, who started calling Libertas another Bermuda Triangle. While there were a few tourists here in the islands, islanders led off the fishery and agriculture. Only a few skilled guides dared to give tours, many of us often ended in disaster. Our research town was built 5 years ago and was created to study anomalies, people with extraordinary abilities. The town was founded 5 years ago to study anomalies before there was an abandoned village in its place, residents of which had died from an incurable illness. Animals are not allowed because anomalies could accidentally harm them. The town is hidden from the outside world. Did they just get rid of all the animals then? Is that even good for your ecosystem? I heard there used to be an abandoned village in its place, but the residents had died many years ago due to some incurable illness. There were many such towns and villages on the Libertas, the very thought of which gave me goosebumps. The way I had a good look at the plowed fields, the seashore, and the fishermen boats. I even noticed a couple of guys from our research town foraging on apples hanging from the trees. The idea of skipping school into these days seems more and more tempting. It seemed colder on the pier. The wind seemed to take offense at us leaving the town, trying its hardest to punish us with every gust. I shivered. It took great effort to refrain from wrapping my arms around myself. Bro, you should have brought a jacket today. So as sees that I'm cold one more time, she'll definitely start looking for ways to warm me up, and we'll miss everything. Mary smiled majestically towards the shore. Everyone's attention turned to the boat, which was humming and puffing out plumes of smoke like an old man smoking a pipe. Finally docked, people started to begin to come out. Slowly began to come out. I immediately started scanning the crowd for a dark hair, a cap, and a plaid shirt. That's how Zoya had described her brother. How'd she know what he was gonna wear today? Nobel. Of course, Zoya found it first. Oh, there was something magical about the bond between twins. I followed her gaze. Nobel was standing by one of the ferry's railings. His smile was dazzling. Where's your purple hair, bro? You ain't even purple. Fuck. No one give a fuck about your ass. He was clearly greeting only Zoya, a smile that is only reserved for our nearest and dearest. For a moment, it felt like Nobel was greeting me too. In the heat of a moment, I waved at him. Nobel waved back and moved closer to the railing. Came any closer, even another step, he would fall into the sea. It's going to fall. Sploosh? The crowd at the gangway just going to end. Geez, just let Nobel get away from the damn railing already. Why is Zoya so calm? Can't you see that Nobel could easily fall into the water? I wanted to run towards her, but I was frozen in place. Nobel was leaning lower and lower. I wonder if he has, like, water powers. I can't bear to watch. The smell of fish in the sea wafted my nose. People were bustling around. Seagulls were screeching. Couldn't hear any screams. He didn't fall. Is he alright? Gee, is everything okay? Zoya looked at me with concern. Smiled and glanced at the ferry. Nobel was gone. Could he really have fallen? But then why would Zoya be so calm? Oh my god, what's wrong with me? Surely you couldn't have... Hello, hello? Joyful and teasing voice broke my train of thought. I looked up. Thank god he's okay. I couldn't even think of something so absurd. Nice to meet you, Nobel. Likewise, princess. His warm, genuine smile made it feel as though the world had suddenly become much brighter. The cold was gone, replaced by the warmth of the sun. Gave me butterflies in my stomach. Wait, princess? I only came to my senses when Nobel pressed his cold lips to the back of my hand. Oh my god, get away from me. Now I have to sanitize my fucking hands. There was a mischievous look in his eyes. It was intense. Yeah, smack him up. She's dead inside. I immediately pulled my hand away and glanced at Zoya. She shook her head. I think I asked you to be more restrained. Why? I am the very picture of restraint. Will shot me a cheeky wink. Cheeky wink. What? Reason didn't seem to bother him at all. It's nice to see you, sister. Took the last word with a hint of mockery. Zoya sighed, but there was nothing but true joy in her eyes. I'm happy to see you too. Didn't hug or shake hands, yet looked at each other with a certain familiar warmth. We barely had time to soak in their long-awaited reunion before Nobel's attention swung back to me. Whoa, you even brought me flowers, thank you. Not for you. I was already reaching for the bouquet before I got it back. Sorry, but these are not for you. What a shame. Seems only meant for another lucky guy, huh? And where's my welcome gift then? You can have my middle finger. Zoya gave him a stern glance. Nope, well, how about this? Nobel leans towards me, offering his cheek. He even closed his eyes in anticipation. Time seemed to slow down. You can push him into the river. I recoiled in horror. My glasses slid down my nose and I made a great effort to push them back into place. And then... Ouch, what was that for? I stared at Zoya. She looked calm and composed, but her eyes were filled with righteous anger. Shall we leave you here? You'll find your way back, won't you? Nobel raised his hands in surrender. Okay, I'm sorry for being persistent, princess. The usual nickname again. Sounds so strange. The name is G. Oh, yeah. Hi, welcome in. Very, very cute so far. It's like very 2000s anime. I know, but princess suits you better. Zoya rolled her eyes and I couldn't help but giggle. It was the first time I've seen her so annoyed. She reminded me of a tiny, angry hedgehog. Sonic? Noble chuckled as well. Apparently our reactions were a great source of amusement for him. Then my gaze landed on a large clock hanging from one of the dock pillars. The time? I quickly pulled out my slider phone from my pocket. My fears were confirmed. We were going to be late, and yet we still need to swing by the library. We definitely won't make it for the first lesson. We must hurry for the second one. Yeah. So 2000s, we even got Sonic. Off we go. Oh, we quickly figured things out. Observant guy. Yes, as soon as possible. We were silent for most of the walk back to the bus stop. It wasn't far, but we had to climb a steep hill. Luckily, old Bell had only brought a backpack with him. How did he manage to fit all his clothes in there? He probably only wears, like, 2 outfits. It's greasy. There was no troubles on the way. When we got to the bus stop, we were soaking wet. Noble took off his cat and started fanning himself with it. Well, we got some hills here. Yep, sorta. Whew. Zoya stayed silent, preferring to catch her breath rather than waste it on a small talk. Should have followed her example, but the word slipped out. Noble had me hooked. He clearly had no intention of letting me go. Princess, can I ask you something? Can you just call me by my name, bro? Realizing I never out-stubborn someone with so stubborn, I let out a heavy sigh just like Zoya. It depends. What is your ability? Straight to the point like that, he is a straightforward one for sure. I mean, yeah, everything's so far as pointed it out. Also, why is his backpack so huge? Now that I think about it, that's fucking big. That whole ass fucking tent in there. No bell. Sooner or later, I'll figure it out anyway, during a medical checkup, or just by seeing it for myself. What's there to hide? Besides, I've heard so much about how clever and beautiful G is. Obviously, I'd like to get to know her better. Noble said my name on purpose, definitely. Trying to butter me up. Glanced at Zoya, she just shook her head. Bill immediately stepped in front of her and came closer. His multicolored green and brown eyes seemed to cast a spell on me, begging for me to obey. I mean, down? Down, boy. He won't let me go that easily. I run fast. Can you, like, go, like, Mach 20 or some shit? Shrugged, feeling awkward. My answer came out even more unimpressive than I imagined. Met so many anomalies with cool abilities, acute hearing, super strength, some can even alter their voice, like Zoya, for instance. She's just a voice actor? My greatest feat is sprinting as quick as a flash when need be. The rest of the time, even running is a struggle. Endurance is my weakness. Well, at least maybe that would disappoint Nobel enough for him to pay attention to me, to not pay me so much attention. Although that hope quickly faded. He was looking at me like I was a treasure chest. How fast can you go? Well, it's the speed of light, but I've only tried that in testing in ordinary life. Going as quick as a car is enough. You could have just ran all the way here then. How do you tell what to avoid crashing into? Intuition? Do your shoes and clothes wear out quickly? Depends on the speed. Usually it's just the sneakers that need replacing. What are the consequences? Shortness of breath? Rapid pulse? What do they forecast in case of wear and tear? Whoa, whoa, whoa. When did this turn into an interrogation? What's his ability? Being annoying? Zoya, help. So hearing any pleas, my friend came forward. Told me you're dying to sleep. Why don't you lie down and get some sleep? That was before I met Princess. Now I'm wide awake. What's your ability? Figured out you were getting control over the conversation. It's about time I did. Neville narrowed his eyes slyly. The bus is coming. So you can just tell when the bus is coming? I was about to protest that he was just dodging my questions, but the bus appeared on the horizon before I could. It's not fair, but fine. I'll get one of Nobel's secrets out. Seems like island life is getting more interesting. Gee, are you okay? Of course. The bus pulled up. Zoe and I stepped aside to let Noble go first. He bounded up the steps and then froze. What is it? I think I'm stuck. Oh. Oh my gosh. This is just like old visual novels too. They would always put the little chibi square in the text. This life won't let me die. So possessive. Noel was indeed stuck, thanks to his overstuffed backpack, which was completely wedged between the bus doors. First, I expected Nobel to show off his ability, maybe shape-shifting or walking through walls, but no. He just bent his knees, flailed his arm, and jiggled. Look, I'm flying! Glanced over at the baffled driver and a couple of passengers, their eyes wide and staring at Nobel. Couldn't help but burst out laughing. Wish I could see his face. He was stuck with his back facing us. Are you even planning to get out of there? Haven't decided yet. Are we running late? While Nobel and Zoya were talking, the driver slammed the door and came over. He was furious. Whatever he was saying, we couldn't understand it at all. Maybe it was for the best. He was cussing you guys out. Saying slurs. Where the driver went from words to action, we had to do something. Noble, take the pack off. We'll push it. Noble huffed irritably. It was easy for him. He wasn't the one staring down the driver's flaring nostrils and huge fists. So he turned around, saw the situation we were in, and with a straight face, tugged on one of the backpack zippers. Hey, that's not fair. Tell me you're going for that pocket. Mysterious pocket in front of Noble's backpack. What lies inside it remains a mystery. Okay. So he said nothing, calmly slipping her hand into the front of the backpack. What could be so secret that even Noble got upset. While getting closer, he freed himself from the strap, starting down and grabbed the zipper. However, Zoya didn't remove her hand, leaving the zipper half open. Okay, I was wrong. Bill grinned awkwardly like a child who knew he'd done wrong, fluttering his eyelashes and pleaded for forgiveness. Zoya gave him a long look, and went on, unzipping the backpack. Hey! It looks like Nobel really was trying to stake his claim. During gym class, me and Zoya were always neck and neck. We could barely manage push-ups, but we'd be out of breath after a couple of laps around the stadium and dying after a 1-minute plank. Can you imagine her being so strong? Well, maybe it's just Nobel being weak. Driver, unlike me, wasn't impressed in the slightest. His face turned an angry crimson and he began moving towards the twins, clenching his fist. Can we hurry onto the bus so this old man can do his job? He fucking hates our asses. Oops. Guys. One for me was enough to distract Zoya. Not knowing to expect her, loosening her grip, yanked the zipper violently, sending himself flying. Nothing to grab onto, and being already distracted by the driver, his flight resulted in an unexpected meeting with the local asphalt. Me and Zoya froze, even the driver stopped in his tracks, speaking out in a calmer manner. Oh yeah, soft landing. He shoved him got to his feet, brushing off his pants. Noble got up, and I nervously fiddled with the ends of my glasses. His palms were bleeding and covered with dust. Close the pocket, will you? Remarkable, despite falling a meter and badly scraping his hands, leaving them covered in blood, he didn't seem to be in any pain. Maybe he can't feel pain. Another similarity with Zoya, I remember how she had once trapped her whole hand in the door. She looked at her injured hand with little concern as she's gotten a splinter, then with an unsettling calmness, she headed off to the nurse's office. That or they, like, got, like, beat or something, so they're, like, fine with it. While I was reminiscing over the past, Zoya actually yanked the zipper back. Then she and the driver shoved the backpack inside. The man exhaled, muttering something softer this time, and headed back to his seat. Kept glancing at Nobel's scraped hands. What should we do? This couldn't get infected. Like me, Zoya remained calm. She meticulously examined the wound like she had... Oh, she would if she wasn't satisfied with the color combination of an outfit. Antiseptic tray? In the back pocket. Do you have any cotton wads or wipes? In the front pocket. Great. Come on, G. Or this weirdo does something else. On the bus, Zoya calmly dabbed at Nobel's palms with a cotton pad. Watched her spellbound. Once when I hurt my knee, she treated my scrape in the same calm way. Though Zoya appeared delicate and soft, she was incredibly calm and composed, handled during an emergency. I mean, she seems like that to me already. She seems more that way than being delicate and soft. Drinking alcohol. Noble thanked her and immediately fell asleep. From when I felt disappointed, I thought he would keep us entertained with stories the whole way. Would have seized the opportunity to find out about his ability. Well, this is even better. Finally, I can relax and enjoy the ride. After wedging Nobel's bulky backpack by his feet so neither of them would fall, I climbed onto the back seats. Wouldn't it be better to place that thing on a seat? That shit's huge. As per usual, Zoya pulled out her MP3 player and gave me one of her earphones. Minutes later, a gentle, soothing melody floated in my ears, listening to the enchanting sounds of the flute guitar. The accordion and the quiet beat drum carried my thoughts away. The heart of the song were like the vocals, a woman's timbre enveloped the entire melody, filling it with depth, like a siren luring the sailors in, drew me in again and again. Then, as if echoing it, another voice joined in. At first it sounded out of place and alien, as if we were trying to break the idyllic moment, but then Zoya hummed along. Her voice seemed to blend with the woman's voice, seamlessly becoming one. So cool to have such a simple ability, the power to copy others' voices. Okay, well, we'll make note of that. Because that will eventually probably happen in a route. All I can do is dash fast over short distances, but Zoya's singing, it flowed so effortlessly that it completely captivated me. Her throat does hurt me sometimes if she sings for too long. Oh, no, it doesn't hurt you. It hurts sometimes if she sings for too long, but that's a small price to pay for such a gift. Besides, the pain quickly subsides. Zoya is such an amazing person. I'm so glad I managed to talk to her, share my lunch with her, and suggest partnering up together for our first lab project. Even though my heart belongs to Sensei, without Zoya, my life would be painted in completely different colors. Sensei does not love you. Zoya does. What is it? She noticed me staring at her awkward. Took my head and closed my eyes, resting my head against her shoulder. A faint scent like chrysanthemum still lingered in the air. Thank you. For what? It's me who should be thanking you. Thank you, G. Thank you so much. Do me a favor and sleep. We'll miss the stop. Oh, my eyes wide. We won't. I'll keep watch. Zoya gave me a doubtful look, then instead of giving in, she leaned her head towards the window, ready to doze off. Here, you can rest your head on my shoulder. I shrugged my shoulder in invitation. She froze, her eyes seemed to ask, really? Is this okay? Oh, that's so cute. She has to be a route. She has to be. Come on. Zoya smiled with gratitude and carefully nestled against my shoulder. Her eyes fluttered shut. Sweet dreams, Zoya. No nightmares. None. She murmured and sleep finally claimed her. What floor? Second classroom, 223. Turn right, right? No, Belle, that's the left, damn it. Should have just said it was your right. And who asked you to run backwards? Or it was something in my chest because of all this running. We didn't miss our stop, but we had lost plenty of time. Waking Nobel up like this was trying to pull a drowning man out of a swamp. So I insisted on bringing the chrysanthemums to the library. Nobel and I sprinted down the hallway. How are those poor flowers doing? Seems like it's been a really long time. Testo kept skidding across the corners thanks to their gigantic backpack. So surprised that the security guard even let him in with that thing. Maybe Nobel really is charming. Maybe it was just us sprinting like we were running from an avalanche. Here it is. Yep, straight ahead, slow down. That was easier said than done. In earshot, I flung Nobel straight into the wall, bringing him into an abrupt stop. My phone buzzed. Mission complete. Zoya's coming back. Great observation. Seduce as Sensei begins. I blushed. How do you... No, I'm sure. Thanks for your honesty, princess. Let's go to class. So we were about to enter. Girl, I don't think that you should be loving your sensei, depending on your age and everything. Arrogant and meticulous, she dreams of becoming a new class rep. She's also in love with sensei. Her real name is Delisa. Delisa? But G suddenly calls her by her former title. Damn, okay. Sleek hair pulled back into a high ponytail, her suit was immaculate. Strict gaze, she looked like a younger version of a meticulous teacher. Of all the classmates who could have run into, why did it have to be the former vice class rep? The girl scanned us from head to toe before sighing in disapproval. Skipping classes on the very first day and being late too? Your head's all over the place, Jiggins. And you are? I'm new here. As you can see, Lady Jiggins had a legit excuse for being absent. Former vice press, huh? I didn't say that sentence correct at all. I don't recall her being related to you, and why would she greet you anyway? Isn't that the guide's job? I knew she would ask. Even I asked Zoya the same question. Nobel tightened his grip on his backpack strap. I wish he would just drop the hefty bag on her head. However, Nobel just smiled. It is, but it's always nice when you're welcomed by someone close, don't you think? Former vice rep looked at me and chuckled. Very close, I see. Totally. Dude, can you just go full ho on her ass so I can get through? He could keep this bickering going on forever. She must have realized there was no winning against Nobel. She just rolled her eyes. Go in then. Once the girl was out of sight, I shot Nobel an accusatory look. Did I argue with her? Did I need to argue with her, princess? I mean, you seem to like to argue with everybody. And then we probably wouldn't have made it to class, right? Well, gave me a warm smile and I snapped back out of it. You're right. I know. Mel giggled, opening the door. Ladies first. As I walked inside, I finally realized how I felt about this mischievous boy. Nobel was like a refreshing breeze, the kind which can lift the tension in a room and make everyone feel lighter. Shook my head and played along with Nobel, confidently striding past him. Judging by his approving chuckle, he liked that. Time to find our seats. Slab work was already in full swing. Nobel and Zoya took a seat at the back desk. I slipped into the one in front of them. Sensei allowed us to conduct experience in groups of 2 to 4, so we decided to work through the task together. The teacher was away. We managed to write down the lab template into our notebooks. Well, by the time I finished, Zoya and Nobel were still struggling with the formulas. I mean, he just joined and he doesn't have to go to, like, any office or anything like that. He just has to just start class. That seems kind of odd. Like, nobody, like, really welcomed him or anything. Nothing else to accompany my time. I started reading the textbook to understand how to trigger different chemical reactions. But I found it hard to concentrate. Distracted, I noticed myself and some of the other students glancing over the gigantic backpack we had propped against the far wall. Stuck out like a sore thumb. Along the shelves and potted flowers. Much like Nobel himself, he still hadn't taken off his cap despite the vice rep's demands. Bro, why didn't you, like, drop the backpack off at, like, a dorm or whatever the hell you guys stay at? Like, thing's fucking huge. I wanted to watch a bit longer, and she slowly lost her patience trying to reason with him, but then the door opened. My heart skipped a beat. It's Sensei! Chemistry teacher and G's homeroom teacher. He's perfect in every way. Gentle, handsome, attentive, responsible, and always ready to help. He comes from Japan, so his nickname Sensei. Quickly stuck. He is not married, and nothing is known about his relatives. This is sus as fuck. You are a red flag, Sensei. I don't fucking trust you. Voices of my classmates abruptly fell silent, as if the conductor had suddenly raised his hands and ordered the choir of voices in the classroom to stop. Everyone simultaneously turned to look at the slender, tall man entering the classroom. Oh my god, he has chrysanthemums on his tie. No, not entering. Gliding with the pose of a dancer. I'm just imagining him entering in like Michael Jackson. Just moonwalking in. Sensei thoroughly scanned the room as if wanting to etch each of us into his memory. In those deep dark eyes lingered an ancient wisdom. Fine aristocratic features, a gentle smile full of kindness and warmth, immaculate clothing, everything about him was flawless. It was as if the gods had sculpted Sensei themselves. Oh, girl, calm the fuck down. He's just a guy. So listening to the heavens, we never called him by his real name. It had been this way for a long time. The first students had discovered he'd come from Japan and addressed him only as Sensei. Eventually the nickname grew so natural, even the other teachers started using it. Is that, like, okay to do? Sensei had been late to class only twice. The first time was when a girl had a nosebleed upon seeing him, and no, it wasn't me. He took her to the nurse's office. Okay. Second was when the principal summoned Sensei. What's the reason this time? Sorry for being late. As soon as he spoke, my mind went completely blank. His voice was just like a majestic ocean, a deep thunder, a soft velvet. It was enveloping, captivating, enchanting, and consuming. Girl! Calm down. I'm sure it's like a mid voice. I'm sure he's like just okay. No, we managed to melt into those sweet dreams and never rise again. Nobel, I see you made it here safely. Hello, Sensei. Nobel's voice pierced through the soft haze. I blinked hard, trying to drag myself from my foggy daydreams back into reality. So we decided to come straight to class? That's commendable. Sensei was still breathtakingly handsome, but now I had to decide to concentrate on the lesson. You should. Suddenly came to my senses, I cleaned my glasses and put them back on. Sensei called Nobel to the board and to introduce himself to the class. Well, I could spend the whole lesson talking about myself, but my time's valuable. And I'm not so sure the school could afford it. Are you a Leo? A ripple of laughter ran through the class. Even Sensei smiled. I'll be frank, name's Nobel. My strongest trait is sleeping with my eyes open. As for my weakness, there are too many to count, so best not to worry about them. I hope to find fellow horror fans to watch movies together and go to abandoned temples. I heard there are a lot of them on the island. And if someone's willing to share their homework for chips or soda, we'll definitely get along. Yes, and does anyone have a phone charger? I'll owe you one. Go to the shop or something after class. I'm sure there's something that sells like an iPhone charger. Thank you, Nomel. Class clapped politely. Some were smiling genuinely. Others, whether out of Sensei's approval or because they really enjoyed Nobel's performance. What an attention hoe. My ears burned with embarrassment. How could he say all that? Nothing he said was really embarrassing, man. Nobel, it seems, didn't care. The roguish smile. He gave a theatrical bow and made his way back to his seat. The boy beside him handed over a phone charger. Gee, Zoya, I'm glad you made it in time for my lesson. I instantly forgot about Nobel. I wanted to explain, we come to your class no matter what, Sensei. We never skipped it. But I smiled and fixed my glasses, though they haven't been even slipped this time. Our lab task is quite simple, but you should be careful not to get confused. Since you have only one lesson, it'd be enough to conduct an experiment called Golden Shower. Not that kind, right? Soft chuckle can be heard from behind. Patience, I need to be patient. Sensei explained how to work with the chemicals, then took a seat and started filling something out in the grade book. I went to get flasks. Judging by the look on Nobel's face, I knew the fun was only just starting. I was planning to keep an eye on him so that he wouldn't blow things up or set the class on fire, but when we reached the chemicals, the thought completely slipped my mind. So what do we need? Yep. Lead nitrate, potassium iodide, and acetic acid. There aren't that many elements in the reaction to mess it up. And the experiment should look beautiful. I've already seen it in the pictures. We can definitely handle... Nobel, put the iodide back, please. Why is he taking part of this? He just got here. Get your filthy hands fucking out of here. Oh, we don't need it. We need iodide, potassium iodide. I already got it. What about the lead? Already have lead nitrate. Before you ask, I had the acetic acid already. What do I carry then? Well, it looked like a pouty child who had begged to help out in the garden only to be handed a bucket and a spade and told to go play in the sandbox. I giggled and pointed Nobel to the flasks. You get the most important mission. You won't break them, right? Can't promise anything. Okay, cut your fucking finger. I don't give a fuck. Shouldn't have asked. Fortunately, you made it back safely. I immediately poured the potassium iodide into the flask and added the lead nitrate into the beaker. I need to keep in mind that it's quite toxic, so I've got to be careful with it. So yeah, Nobel watched me obediently. So we add acetic acid to the lead, correct? I nodded. Nobel, go boil the water. Can you handle that? Please. 250 milliliters, right? Wow, I thought you hadn't listened to Sensei after hearing the words golden shower. Maybe had potassium iodide. Iodine for fun? Are you putting down people who thought something else when we heard golden shower? I'll have you know I'm very smart. Give him a reason to joke and I'll drive the whole world crazy. Good memory. And without a smug chuckle and eagerly lit the alcohol burner. I wonder if he can like read minds or something. He's just kind of weird. Then pour 175 milliliters into the beaker, the rest in the flask. As you command, princess. Okay. Go chop off the plank too. It was my turn to smile. Once the water had boiled, we thoroughly stirred the solutions only to the final step remain. Adding lead nitrate to the potassium iodide. In an instant, the water had turned yellow. So That's piss. Okay. Golden particles floated up from the bottom. It's really unhealthy piss. Felt like they were stirring golden sand or shaking a crystal ball from which tiny snowflakes were its piss. It was mesmerizing. A gold... A golden shower indeed. Noel chuckled, clearing the leftover lead nitrate from the burner just as I thought. He had poured a lot more boiled water than needed, so we ended up with too much solution. He doesn't know how to mess everything up. What is it, princess? It's pee. Snapped. What's so funny? Because it looks like pee. You really can't tell. Gee, just ignore him. Okay, I'm sorry we're not being... Are you also thinking it looks like pee? Because we could be friends if you think it looks like pee. What do you thought of the same things I did? Yeah, I have. What were you thinking about? Nobel smiled cunningly. Should I say it? How loud? Just scream it. I'll die. Judge your eyes. Looks he meant it. No arguing with him is pointless. Okay, never mind. Do you know that G? Oh, you know, it's not about P? Well, that doesn't make me happy then. What happened to the flashlight? I barely reached out for Nobel, the burner. Thankfully, it had already gone out, so I didn't burn my hand. However, Nobel jolted, suddenly spilling the last of the nitrate across the table. Oh, Nobel managed to jump back, but I wasn't fast enough. Dropped, splattered onto my hand. Oh, that's not good. Gee. A heart thrashed in my chest. I started in terror as my skin began. Oh my god. Suddenly an arm wrapped softly around my shoulder. Its warmth and tenderness nearly brought me to tears. Need to rinse your hand. Come on. Yeah, there should be one of those special little areas that like chemistry classes have if chemicals get on you and stuff. So you know, Nobel, put on gloves and clean the table. To enter a spell, I followed Sensei to the sink. I let him take my hand and put it under the running water. Skin was even more delicate than I imagined. It's so nice. Under that thought, and slowly came to my senses. Girl, just focus on cleaning yourself. If it weren't Sensei's lesson, nothing like this would have ever happened. I let my nerves get the better of me, and I paid the price for it. So what if Nobel likes to joke around? Why react like that? Drag him and Zoya into this as well. They could have been hurt too. Yes, I need to grow up. How else could I ever become anything like Sensei? Adults are reserved, they consider their decisions carefully, and would pay little attention to someone's empty talk. And me, what did I... My eyes stung with tears. Well, I mean, it's like... really fucked up whatever he was gonna... say. I wish he was just talking about pee, but... seemed to want to be a jerk instead. It's alright, G, everything's fine. What matters is that you're okay. Maybe you should stop by the nurse's office, just in case. Oh no, just a tiny bit splashed on me and it doesn't hurt anymore. That was the plain truth to Sensei. I simply couldn't lie. I could downplay the scale of it, maybe. Zoya and Emil came to the sink to rinse out the rags. Gee, are you okay? It's alright, don't worry. Zoya sighed relief and looked at Sensei gratefully. Emil, for the first time, looked serious, gloomy, even as if he had lived through a catastrophe. Sorry. Okay, yeah, Harvest Moon looking ass. Like, what's your fucking problem? I thought we were gonna bond over pee and said you gotta, like, do something unnecessary? That's not fucking cool, man. I should save. I'm gonna check on something too real quick. Everything okay? Yeah, okay. Anyway, forget it. It was my fault. Here's the long-awaited truce. Try another experiment, but this time without the quarreling. Deal. Since I seem to have a cast a spell on us, because this time all three of us answered in unison. Deal. Rest of the lesson passed without trouble. We wrapped up work quickly. By the time class ended, we had drifted into our undistractions. Nobel was playing Snake while Zoya folded paper into the flower. I double-checked the lab work before glancing over to admire Sensei again. He kept on reading something in our grade book. His pen fluttered gracefully across the pages while his keen eyes passed here and there, as though detecting something noteworthy again. Notice Sensei always checked the grade book several times, writing down the homework in a separate column, so students would always double-check and never forget. He was also analyzing our grades and other subjects, keeping track of our performance, ready to help us if needed. We were incredibly lucky to have Sensei as our homeroom teacher. Insanely lucky. I sighed. Why did the lesson have to end so fast? My classmates crowded around the sink to pour out their leftover solutions. Some were already hurrying to return the rinsed flask and beakers to the chemistry lab. Sensei got up from his chair and headed towards the chaos. Got a beaker just in time before it slid from the sink, then gave the struggling vice rep a hand to carry a couple of empty flasks. I smiled. After such an obvious attempt to grab his attention, Sensei would only see her as a helpless little child. Soon the crowd thinned and disappeared through the door. I mean, that's how an adult should see a child. Then a sound from behind immediately caught my attention. Let me help. Soil handed me over the burner and 2 flasks. Noel put away his phone and stretched out like a cat waking from a long nap. Then I'll take these beauties. The boy lifted a big beaker and 2 measuring cups containing a dangerous liquid. Just be careful, alright? Careful is my middle name. Sure. Shook my head. He never learns. Finally finished washing up and handing over the equipment. Nobel rushed to the back seat. Looked like a hamster that had finally found a way out of the cage. Zoya and I took our time. No point in hurrying when there's tons of boring lessons ahead. Besides, we still need to hand in our notebooks with lab work. Well, Nobel was struggling with his heavy backpack, which got stuck in the aisle again. Zoya and I took our notebooks and headed over to Sensei. The classroom was empty, only a few students who were hurriedly finishing formulas and others who had just started to wash their equipment. As we came closer, I caught my breath. A flutter of butterflies burst inside me, and my body felt light and airy like a cloud. Quietly, as if I was afraid to wake up a sleeping baby, I put away my notebook and stepped aside for Zoya. That's it. Time to leave. Leave. Yet one comforting thought lingered. I'd finally be able to give him the bouquet after school. Barely forced myself to look away from Sensei and turn around. Zoya, gee, stay for a couple minutes. I'd like to have a word with you. I test Titan. Could it be that Sensei had read my thoughts? Had he somehow found out that Zoya and I went to the flower shop? No one knew his true ability. It could be anything. Which was really frightening. Legs trembling, I turned back. Suddenly, I felt something warm squeeze my hand. Zoya? Thank you. Sensei flipped through a couple of pages in the gradebook, fixed the notebooks into a perfect stack, and suddenly looked at us. Since you missed the first lesson, I'll repeat it for you in person. In 2 weeks, elections for the class rep club will be held. Gee, if I remember correctly, at the end of last year, you expressed a desire to participate? Student council is secretly into the sense... That's not good! Each class represents a representative and a vice representative. The elections will be held in 2 weeks. Participant is required to apply for it and give a speech. Just focus on your schoolwork. Is it because you have glasses that you want to participate? Relief rushed through me, faced by anticipation. Right, the elections. Class rep club was a student council. From each class, a rep and a vice rep were chosen. 2 times a week, the elected students gathered for meetings to discuss academic performance, career guidance, events, organization, and medical checkups. Sounds boring, right? However, the class rep club was another, more popular name among the students. I don't think it's hard to guess. Sensei Club, the name speaks for itself. Some years ago, students wanted to be elected only because Sensei was in charge of the club. One could easily imagine the chaos which ensued because of such people. Since then, the voting system has been refined, where the rep and the vice rep were chosen only by the students and the homeroom teacher. Now the decision also involves teachers and even the principal. As Sensei said, the election began 2 weeks after the start of the classes. This is my graduation year, so I wanted to use every opportunity to stay close to Sensei. Fortunately for me, the smart and resourceful class rep left the island for some reason at the end of the last school year. Which left only one rival in my class, the former vice rep. She won't give up her place easily. I'll have to put in a lot of effort into winning. This is so creepy. Yes, I finally wanted to participate. Thank you for reminding me, Sensei. Oh yeah, you requested an extra English assignments. Here they are. Thank you so much. Oh, she refined... Ugh. Wow, she really has decided to take her studies seriously. In the last year, when Zoya told me she wanted to enter, but she just decided in university, I didn't believe her. Are you guys, like, allowed to go to universities and stuff? I mean, I'm guessing yes, but if they're, like, trapping you on this island, Is there universities on this island? Because aren't you, like, considered, like, some mutant freak or something? She was never passionate about studying. She was more into paper crafts and sewing. I couldn't help but admire their perseverance with which she pursued her dream. Humanities had always been much harder for her. I shot Zoya a glance when I told her I wanted to run for class rep. I couldn't bring myself to ask her for help. She'd be a better class rep than you. Same because Zoya was already a part of a sewing club and the class rep clubbers weren't allowed to be in 2 clubs at once. Fair enough, burnout, especially for anomalies, is quite dangerous. What the hell happens? Do you guys, like, melt? So when I need to find someone to be a vice rep. Well, they might not become one. So I decided to focus on her studies, so I definitely shouldn't ask for her help. How do I find a candidate? Think about it for later. For now, I just need to keep my spirits up. I mean, you haven't even won the election yet. What makes you think you need to be looking for a vice rep? Well, I won't keep you any longer. Have a good day. Sensei's smile didn't fade, even when a loud crash echoed from the back of the classroom. Nobel. Looks like your friend needs a little help. Okay, go whack him with your fucking ruler or some shit if you're Sensei. Sensei looked calmly at Nobel, who was sprawled on the floor, crushed by the immense weight of his backpack. I almost burst out laughing. How did he pick it up earlier, then? Definitely help him, Sensei. So I was already rushing to her brother. Her face was stern as if she was a strict parent about to scold her naughty child for breaking an expensive vase. Ugh. Bro, can you go fuck off? So much pain. So, young man, will it be chicken with rice or fish? Can I get half and half? Oh, and coconut milk, please. So, will you really buy all of this for him? I took the money out of his backpack. Noel, as usual, hadn't bothered to close the zipper on the front pocket where he kept it. Happy Nobel, absorbed in studying the menu, had no idea that nobody was going to apologize for the bump swelling on the back of his head. Dumbass. After we paid for our meals and stepped aside from the counter, Nobel suddenly gasped. He was about to complain about the pain again. He'd gotten the bump by hitting his head on the chair leg, on a chair leg, by the way. Chair leg? Chair leg. Why did I say leg? It's a leg. Well, his adjustment exceeded all of my expectations. Maybe we should eat somewhere else? What's wrong with the cafeteria? It's hot in here. Maybe you should just take off your vest? But it's so dear to me, I feel naked without it. What vest? Like, she looks like she's wearing one of those dresses. I don't see a vest. Don't you want something new to break the daily routine to go looking for some adventure? Was he always like this? At least he's calmer now. As a kid, the only thing he didn't do was dive into a volcano. Hey, I can hear you. Stop whispering. Oh, come on, it's just a suggestion. I'm not dragging you there. Won't have lunch at a volcano, I promise. Suggestion suddenly changed. What is it? Oh. My eyes flickered over to the former vice rep who was still glaring at us from across the cafeteria. Just fart in her direction. I see. Well, I was right about one thing. We really didn't need to break up out of our daily routine. Julia followed my gaze and nodded in understanding. Do you mind eating somewhere else? If you're very happy to, then so am I. That's the spirit. Where are we going? I'm going to the rooftop. I made my decision. Thought of going up to the rooftop made my heart beat quicker in anticipation. Only I'd been there a couple times. Once I had been there to have lunch with Zoya, but the wind was so strong our lunchboxes were swept away. Other time I went there to spend some time alone and listen to music. They were talking me peace and tranquility. From up there, the world looked so much smaller. Even the library looked tiny, like you can hold it in your hand. The rooftop is the anime place. I want to go there. Going to the school garden was instantly forgotten. How about go up to the rooftop? allowed to eat there. Awesome. I mean, probably not. I took a shot at glance. Clearly she didn't like something about this phrase. We can go to the yard. No, let's go to the rooftop. I don't mind. Oh, well, just don't get carried away, okay? Of course. Is he gonna jump? Almost dropping his lunchbox, Noble hurried eagerly towards the cafeteria exit. Does he like rooftops that much? Sort of. Noble does like to fly. Doesn't mean or did it just feel sorrow in her voice? Zoya, do you really want... Of course, it's alright, G. Okay, then. Zoya smiled. My gut told me there was something hidden behind that smile. There was something wrong with Nobel's love for rooftops. What is wrong with him? No, it wasn't Nobel's love for rooftops that was wrong. Something wrong about Nobel himself. Yeah, he's been weird this whole time. If you haven't noticed. When he followed us up the stairs, he accidentally leaned back. Instantly grabbed his food, and somehow Nobel managed to regain his balance. Are you okay? I'm fine. Should your backpack throwing you off? Maybe you should put some of the stuff in your locker? Have you seen your lockers? At least I could fit a pair of shoes in there. Suddenly it was the truth. The lockers we had for storing books or school stuff were never meant for real baggage. Why didn't you drop that off at wherever you're staying? I just don't understand. By the time I sort out what fits in and what doesn't, eternities will have passed. Is this, like, ability having, like, half a brain or something? Could have no bells of anticipating my next question. I had no comeback for that. Oh yeah, thanks for taking my food. Now I owe you one. Smiled bitterly. Coconut milk, half spilled mid-flight, was grossly running down my fingers. Let's just get to the rooftop without any incidents. The lunch break will be over soon. As you command, Your Highness. Noble pushed away from the wall and took a step forward. And then he fell. No kidding. Milk. Someone exhaled in horror, staring at her brother as she fell. I took the puddle and stretched out my hand, hoping to catch pulling Nobel by his flapping vest. Fingers grasped nothing but air. Nobel didn't scream. It was like he didn't even realize what was happening. The boy spread his arms serenely as he was sinking in a warm bath and looked at us as if saying goodbye. No. Covered my face in shock. The frame of my glasses cut into the bridge of my nose, but I hardly noticed. Yeah, he's clearly, like, fine with pain. And something within me clicked, like a switch being flipped. For a moment, my body fused to obey me. I couldn't move. It felt like the world had frozen, with only my conscience still moving. A strange feeling vanished after a few seconds. I dropped my hands. I felt a burning sensation around the bridge of my nose, but I instantly forgot about the pain. Before my eyes was a strange scene. I felt like I was in a movie. Who the fuck is this asshole? Noble's backpack cluttered down the stairs. With each dull thud I saw in a slow motion, a sturdy, broad-shouldered boy caught him. Muscle golden hair flew up. A pair of strong arms grabbed Noble under his arms, spinning around in a pirouette-like motion. Noble stared astonished at his savior. Flat souls, huh? And coconut milk. Phase Noble responded as though he had been expecting it for ages. The boy kept staring at Noble as if spellbound, completely ignoring the joke. What was so captivating? More importantly, how did he manage to save Noble? Something had definitely happened, because at the speed that Daredevil was falling, catching him should have been impossible. Well, as though time itself had frozen. Wait, girl, you can move fast, so why wouldn't you catch somebody that was falling, even if it fatigued you? Would you just not give a fuck that much? Golden hair is steady calmizing the ability to freeze time. Is that a world, though? My god, we met our school's prince. His name is What? Second most popular person after Sensei, the only islander who lives in the town. School's prince. He's responsible, smart, and his grades are perfect. Sometimes he tutors, sometimes helping others to understand other topics. He has a linguistic... He's also a linguist. Enjoys shooting. What does he enjoy shooting? Like guns? Ability is freezing time. I mean, you're not even really aiming if you can freeze time. Cheater. Humor had it that he was a dutiful, responsible student at the top of his class, and above all, a hero, always ready to help. Well, considering how he saved Nobel, the last part was not a rumor anymore. Shh. I'm not gonna want to fucking say this guy's name ever. Struggled to pronounce his strange name would sound like a hissing snake. After releasing Nobel, he looked at me. Do we know each other? In a way, everyone's familiar with you. Fair enough. Is your name Shh? Emil turned towards the saber, his eyes scanning him top to bottom. Anything wrong? Why such a name? Rose, how can he ask such a thing so easily? I mean, it's a long story. In short, it's rooted in ancient traditions. Emil's free spirit behavior seemed to amuse them. Wow, so are you a native here? So you must be new here? Of course, or else you would have known me by now. Oh, really? Why so? Are you guys having like a yaoi moment? Should I be interrupting? Do you want me to tell you about all my talents or keep a few hidden? Everyone needs a little mystery, don't give it all away. You're right, in that case, Zoe and I waited in silence at the rooftop entrance, waiting patiently for the two to finally part ways. Nobel started rambling about the cold winds on the island, asking about exotic drinks. I couldn't stand it anymore. Heard the interruption, but Nobel, the lunch break is almost over. Nobel looked at his food as if seeing it for the first time. Right, shh, you want to tag along? Of course, I wouldn't have minded getting to know the prince better. You don't want to have like a nickname or anything? He's selected a class rep last year in the bus. News about how well she handled his operation and what a natural leader he was. We became friends, maybe she would share a few secrets about how to earn respect from classmates and teachers. That would be wonderful. Like, how do you even, like, moan that? Or the fact that Noel never asked or questions was hurtful. So I looked at her brother. Oh, oops. Oh. What happened here? Reload. Oh, there we go. Chat fucked up for a second. So I looked at her letter with an unreadable expression. Nothing he did could surprise her. I mean, we could have just went to the rooftop and just ate. We could have just ignored whatever the fuck they were doing. All I could do was glare at him with discontent. Like Nobel, she paid us attention, so our eyes met. Gave a nod as if he'd say he'd handle it. Oh no, he probably took my frustration personally. Before I could say a word, she patted on Nobel on the shoulder. Next time for sure. For sure. Right now I'm busy. Matters of national importance? Absolutely. Nice meeting you all, Nobel, Zoya, and G. Seems I missed the moment when Nobel let slip our names. He really can't keep his mouth shut. What's wrong with telling somebody your name? That's like a normal thing to do. Why do you care? Nice to meet you. Good luck. See ya. She saluted in the farewell and disappeared down the hallway. Swear to matters could he be dealing with anyway? Let's start with you grabbing your meal first, Kay. Don't forget your backpack. Okay. My hunch was right. As soon as we sat down and opened the lunchboxes, Nobel turned to me. He didn't say a word, but his eyes said it all. I'm gonna look at her lunchbox real quick. Ooh, that looks good. I think she had like chicken meatballs or something. There's some dragon fruit and apples. He didn't say a word, but his eyes said it all. Not today. I opened my eyes as Zoya and suddenly kept eating. I heard a deliberate, businesslike cough. Nobel, chew first, then talk. In my belly, and I almost dropped my lunch back. Noble frowned, luckily him having such a large bite in his mouth. We had a few moments apiece. So what do you know about Shh? I knew it. Why are you so curious? There's a look I head on, just ignore annoying questions, but Noel looks way too funny. Come on, he can stop time and lives on the island. Does he explore temples, give people tours? How often does he use his ability? The question kept coming one after another. Zoya and I endured them stoically, calmly eating our lunch. Finally, he shut up. Are you done? Yes, for now. Gee, answer me, will you? Sure. So, yeah? This is the first time we saw Shh. So aside from calling him a one-man band, we could say no more. Well, that makes it even more interesting. I'll ask him myself. What are you? Zoya shook her head and fell silent. 5 minutes left till the lesson. Quickly shoved my food down as if I would vanish in a few seconds. Vanish in a second. So I suffered through the next few lessons with a grumbling stomach and mild cramps. Fortunately, Noel also paid for his relentless list. During the rest of the school day, Nobel managed to chat with half the class, barring Zoya's fun to play Snake, and even learned about the school's swimming club. He didn't waste his time, that's for sure. Doing my best to pay attention in class. If I wanted to become a class rep, I need to start improving my grades now. Problem was, my concentration didn't last long. Within 5 minutes, I'd be doodling in my notebook or gazing aimlessly outside. So, on the other hand, listened carefully to the teachers as if she'd built a barrier blocking out all background noise. The final bell rang. Zoya handed me her notebook. Don't forget to copy down the homework, future class rep. Right, I kept forgetting mine. Thanks a lot, Zoya. We're heading to sewing club now, right? Zoya nodded hesitantly. Want me to come with you? No need, I've got this. I'll have you everything in the evening, don't worry. Promise everything? Of course. Zoya calmed down once we'd pinky promised. When we left the classroom, Nobel had already vanished. Surprisingly, I didn't hear his noisy backpack. Okay, focus. I need to fetch the chrysanthemums from the library and find Sensei. Okay, where could he be? Probably the teacher's office. Get away from the school entrance or try my luck in the teacher's room. Maybe Sensei's still packing up in the chemistry room. Oh, I'm so sorry. Principal? Stood back immediately, not even daring to push my glasses back up. Principal Ravi? Founder of the Anomaly Research Project, the town and the research center. She's also Raj's grandmother. Posing and powerful woman, no one dares stand in her way. She has square glasses, though she really wears them. No one knows her ability. Okay. A stately and graceful woman corrected me, bumping into her messed up my hair, knocking my glasses out of place, and took my breath away. The principal, on the other hand, looked as if only a breeze had brushed past her. I apologize, Principal Revy. Nothing, G. Just be more careful next time. She's cute. Sure. Oops, I didn't mean to miss that. That's what the log says. Principal inspired on in adoration everyone she met, no matter. No wonder she was the one who started the Anomalies Research Project. The thing about her exuded power and grace, the steady, clear gaze, the gentle, inviting smile, the lifted chin, and most of all the beautiful, delicate fingers holding her square glasses. They don't look that square. Like ovals. When I came here to school and I didn't see a single teacher or student wearing glasses, I started to panic. What if they mock me? Girl, what the hell? People just wear glasses. Like, she couldn't even afford contacts, or she just started wanting to look smart, but she's actually stupid. People just wear glasses. Principal Revy dispelled all my fears, and I was grateful for that. Okay. But what a clumsy meeting that was. From now on, I'll be 1,000 times more careful. Shouldn't you have already seen the principal if you're enrolled here? Does nobody, like, actually, like, personally enroll students? Is there no fucking assemblies? Like, what the fuck is this? What kind of clown-ass school do you have here? I berated myself. The principal lifted a hand towards her nose as if I had adjusted her glasses, then seemed to remember she wasn't wearing them, instead dropping her hand to touch the glasses chain and resting against her chest instead. How are you finding the start of the year? Great, Principal Revy. I heard you were quite ill this summer. Is everything okay? Yes, I'm fine. It was just tonsillitis and fatigue. That's good. Seems you're in a hurry. I won't keep you any longer. Yeah, that's just like your last year here. How the hell have you never met this person? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Her voice was stern yet caring. Once again, I was admiring how amazing she was. Hope one day I can be at least a little bit like her. It's likely I'll ever inspire such awe, but maybe I can still have a chance to become a person others value and respect. Thank you, Principal Revy. It was a pleasure to meet you. Likewise, G. Have a good school year. Try not to make any mistakes. After the principal disappeared around the corner, I lingered, looking after her, replaying those precious memories of our conversation, trivial though they were. Then she immediately rushed to do whatever she came to her mind. Oops. Keep thinking I can... get there, but I cannot. There we go. I'm gonna go to the teacher's room because that's what I talked about. I should check into the teacher's room, and if Sensei isn't there, I can ask the teachers where to find him. There was no time to waste. I headed over the room without hesitation. Or as soon as I got there, I'm gonna have second thoughts. If it's locked, remove that nasty math teacher pestering me today is there and there. If Sensei isn't there, and no one knows where he is. How will I explain the flowers? Why did I bring them to school? No, walking there with a bouquet seems far too suspicious. It'd be better. Why haven't you said anything yet? You're only making it worse, shh. Speak of the devil. Wait a second. Shh? I suddenly pressed my ear to the door. We had parted in your tutoring over the summer by giving lessons on the very first day of the school. Unbelievable. Do words mean nothing? Are you defying the principal? Just about proving yourself, or are you doing it for the money? Can't understand how much a diligent student like yourself could fall back into such old habits. Explain yourself. I shook my head. How can I explain when you won't even let him speak? Please just admit it. Neither you nor your student will be in trouble. Maybe just a minor penalty? Looks like the full-on interrogation is happening inside. Really decided to tutor again? If so, I could raise my grades. Right. If I save from those furious teachers now, he'll surely help me later. We'll definitely return the favor. Remember had it once. His bag tore and some boy gave him his own. Later brought him a whole new bundle of new ones. The prince spoke, but his voice was so calm and quiet I couldn't make it out. He was With my teacher's words, however, I caught immediately. Looks like we'll have to go to the principal. If I leave the room, my chance is gone. There's no time left to hesitate. Hello. As I entered the room, the three teachers went unfamiliar, and all looked at me. The room was silent apart from the fan gentle whirring. Keep running into shh. I wonder if I picked something else, I'd run into somebody else. I did not want to keep saying shh. My palms were sweaty, and I had to fight the urge to wipe them on my skirt. Arm spaghetti. I felt everyone's eyes staring on me, making me nervous. But turning back now, I had to act. I can't keep doing this shh. Yeah? I was a student. We worked all summer, but I want to continue learning and improving. Shh is very good at explaining. Thanks to him, I can finally understand what I couldn't last year. Now I'm less worried about finals. I didn't think what else to say, so I looked at shh for inspiration. His eyes were fixed on me as he was carefully assessing me. Assessing me. Which is why I turned to him for help. I had to work hard this year because I want to become a class rep. Please forgive us. No, it's wrong, but try not to overwork and always keep things balanced. Besides, we only studied on the weekends. Rumors about tutoring during weekdays are now just that, rumors. Would you really have time for that? You're really aware of how hardworking and occupied is. Do you have a last name? I didn't notice any progress in your understanding of the math today. That's because so far we only focused on English. Math teacher scoffed, but to my relief said nothing more. So I managed to diffuse his attention. Thank God, my knees were already starting to shake. Who's the bouquet for? Unlike the grumpy, nitpicking math teacher, the history teacher was nice and sweet, though far too nosy. How could I forget about the bouquet? Should have left it outside the door. Too late now. Sour taste rose in my mouth, but I pushed myself to say what had to be said. I brought it as an apology. To back up my words, I put the bouquet on the desk. The math teacher immediately started. Oh, what? How hard is it to say I'm bringing it to somebody else? It's really fucking not hard. Judging by her softened gaze, she liked the chrysanthemums. Honestly, it's just weekends. Please don't forbid it. We'll be careful. Surely Shh has earned your trust. After all, he's been on Libertas the longest. The rumors were true. Shh was one of the very first to join the project. Considering how the teachers all fell silent, I guess the gossip must be true. Okay, you may leave. We'll still report everything to the principal. Of course, that's the right thing to do. Apparently, Shh wasn't all that concerned about the principal might hear about his rule breaking. He looked so serene, cheerful, and he was out for a stroller in a meadow to catch butterflies. Don't worry, I'll believe the principal will be understanding. Third teacher nodded apathetically, and it seemed as though she couldn't care less. Well, once we were in the teacher's room, my legs went to jelly beneath me. I nearly fell, but Shh caught me and helped me over the windowsill. Thank you. No, thank you. You put on quite a show. It's been ages since I saw something like that. Math teacher smiling like that? Amazing. Who would have thought she liked flowers so much? I was glad she didn't pry about who the flowers were actually intended for. I didn't expect anything like that from myself either. You really saved me there, seriously. You're welcome. Remember this. Remember how generous I am. Remember stuff later. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen in this game. You better do me a solid. I thought I'd end up telling a pitiful story about a poor student who wanted to get a good grades for his parents' sake. I'm sure you would have pulled it off quite well. Maybe, but I'd never reach your level. Hehe, thanks. Bet you're serious if you ever need help, Prince. Shh, wince like he just chewed on something sour. Let's do this without the Prince stuff. I just don't get why that nickname stuck to me. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you liked it. No worries. Everyone thinks so, which is why they called me that. Shh, looked at me like with such a warm smile that I couldn't help but relax. So what nickname would you prefer? King? Lord? Shh, chuckled. My regular name is more than enough, although if you want to be creative, I prefer shh. Like the sound of piss? Remembered what had told Nobel about the secret behind his name. The tradition is that these islanders were certainly peculiar. Speaking of the incident on the staircase, Welsh considered hissing. I waited silently until he was finished, only then did I smile and begin to speak. Almost forgot. Sorry about earlier today. About what? Well, I mean... Said apparently I'd have to remind him. When Nobel asked you to join us for lunch, I startled and gave you a look while well, you saw it. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't against your company, I was just taken aback. I assumed as much. Gee, you're kind of rude. Don't worry, G. I never take such things to heart. Whoa, I wish I could be like that. Like, weight had been lifted from my shoulders. Not only did I cheer up, but I even grew bolder. If you'd like to join us next time, we'd be more than happy to have you. Zoya didn't seem to care either way, so there's no problem. I'm glad they accept the invitation sometime. Thank you. By the way, tell me, how can I return the favor? You want me to actually tutor you? I couldn't believe my ears. Do you really... So you really do get private lessons? There's always some truth behind every rumor. Truth? I don't give a fuck. So what, do you agree? Of course. Wasting no time realizing how clearly lucky I was. Reached out his hand. It's a deal then. I shook his hand in response. His hand felt surprisingly soft and warm. Our island is so warm-blooded. Okay. Said goodbye and went on his way, leaving me in the hallway. Only did I have a chance to think over what had happened. Gave up on Sensei choosing to protect someone I barely knew instead of taking the opportunity to confess my feelings. You cannot confess to a teacher. But as a former class rep, if I studied with him, I might learn some election tips. Yes, it was definitely worth it. You. Looking away from the window, I realized there was a girl right behind me. She took me with pure anger as though I'd committed some awful crime. Felt a chill run through me. Of course, I had to bump into one of the school's nastiest people. Even the former vice rep was a little angel compared to Siena. Her nasty temper and bitterness were the talk of the whole school. Rude bully who loves to make others' lives miserable. She often gets away with it, but sometimes she is sent to do community service. She is friends with the former vice rep. Siena doesn't talk about her ability much, but she says that she knows how to hurt people. Okay. Sounds like her problem to me. My alcohol's all gone now. Siena was immediately scolded and punished, but she never changed. She would sabotage anyone who crossed her. She would do this for any reason at all. Something trivial like standing ahead of her in a queue, or something serious like criticizing her looks. I didn't understand how the former vice managed to get along with her. Their relation often caused fights with their class rep. Because goth and preps get along. Just so I couldn't understand why the administration hadn't kicked Siena out yet. How far would Principal Revy's patient have to stretch before she expelled his person with abilities? Look at me when I'm talking to you. Hey. Don't hey me, the name is G. Yeah, remember your name, Jiggins. Siena moved closer like how a snake would as she delivered towards its prey. Helping out was nice, but don't you dare go near him again. Got it? I mean, if he wants to be near me, Siena. What? Why is that? Siena came even closer to call my willpower to stay put. He's already studying with me, and he doesn't need more students. Isn't it enough that is in her class? Now she wants to keep anyone away from getting close to him. It's because she looks like a snake that she wants him, and his name is Took all my effort to keep my anger under control. The place is taken. I don't know if you know this, but like, students typically, I mean not students, teachers typically take more than one student. It's not a serious issue. Just how things are. Doesn't matter what said, he was just polite, he knows he needs to repay you somehow. So I'm here to take that burden off of him. Okay. What if I refuse your offer? It's not an offer. Siena came up with me, grabbed my t-shirt, but I stood my ground, staring straight into her eyes. She smirked, squeezing the fabric of my t-shirt like she was squeezing a lemon. Just kiss her nose. Shocked the fuck out of her. That wasn't what scared me. In a heartbeat, her eyes had turned golden. They're still red. Suddenly I felt very easily. There were many rooms of our ability, and I wouldn't be ready to have her test them on me. Pressed my fingers behind my back. Okay, Siena, I'll try. Siena released her shirt and released my shirt and shot me a piercing gaze. I held her gaze, and she finally released my t-shirt. I believe you for now. But if I see you near him, don't say I didn't warn you. Okay. Just started to chuckle. I could actually listen to that insolent girl. No way. Have a good evening. Siena gave me a strange look before disappearing down the hallway. Only then did I notice my legs trembling. I tried hugging my knees to calm down. She won't do anything to you, G. Zoya's always with you, and you know how to stand up for yourself. If anything happens, I'll use my ability and run. If I do what she says, Siena will surely take control of me. Can't let that happen. Whatever awaits me, I'll never listen to her. Never. In the evening, I briefly told Zoya about what happened in the teacher's room, but decided not to mention Siena. Zoya seemed nervous and upset, so I didn't want to worry her more. Why is there a sensei plushie? What the fuck is that? Who's making that shit? I think Sensei has an Etsy and he sells that shit himself, that fucking weirdo. You know, Siena Zoya had a reason to be worried. Think is hiding something? What do you mean? Like he's a wolf in sheep's clothing trying to gain our trust so he can feast on us all. Interesting way to put it. I'm not kidding, don't you think he looks down on us? I remembered his eyes a bit mocking, yes, but his demeanor as a whole was nothing but friendly and polite. He really does think we're stupid. It's always hard to tell with the locals. Well, he's a great chance to improve my grades. So let's use him. What about me? I was also borrowed the textbooks that we... Zoya? Huh? Like, for real, your friend literally always gives you her notes and shit. But sure, don't be grateful. Why'd she get so upset? I need to cheer her up. How about a game of cards? You mean fortune telling? As you wish. Don't tell me how your day went. I've been talking the whole time. Finally, Zoya smiled sincerely. Felt so happy that I could bring out such a beautiful and radiant smile. Thanks to our little reunion and the regrets I had about failing to give the bouquet to Sensei had almost faded. So now I had a much better chance to become a class rep. The bouquet could wait until after the election. Soon after, Zoya wished me good night and went off to her room tomorrow. It promised to be another long day with a mountain of homework in the morning. I absolutely have to sleep well. Thinking about Sensei helped me finally drift off to sleep. Despite Zoya wishing me sweet dreams, my dreams weren't anything but. Scent of wet grass and flowers tickled my nose, opened my eyes. Oh, how beautiful. This is a beautiful painting. I really like it. Clearly see the lilies. Take a moment to look at this. Yeah, this is gorgeous. I really like this. And I saw standing before a wide meadow covered in flowers. One that shows the chrysanthemums, carnation, and poppies stretch out as far as the eyes can see. Gently kissed by the soft warmth of the rising sun. You're missing the lilies. Pleasant morning dew chilled my bare feet. Dragonflies with gleaming rings drifted through the middle, already awake and going about their business. Air only now starting to warm up was filled with moisture, the scent of the flowers, and joyful anticipation. What a wonderful dream! I spread my arms wide and ran through the grass like how I did when I was a child. My fingers pressed the pedal tips by the flowers, six stems tickled my heels. It's so beautiful here! I kept running and running. The field was never ending, forever the same. Same flowers, the same grass. The sun rose higher and higher, breathing life into the frozen scene. As light grew brighter, the darkness faded away. The sun's beam slowly replaced the shadows. The petals of the flowers deepened in color. Oh, look at the rocks. What does that mean? And over the pile of gray stone that seemed out of place in this picture. What's that? Far away, I thought they'd simply been tossed into a heap. So an irritated tourist had swept them off the road into a pile to clear the way. I mean, it doesn't look like that. It looks like it's purposely stacked that way, like a sculpture. Perhaps the shamans had built a funeral for the dead, and later someone had destroyed their graves. Stones were arranged into pyramids. Mysterious pyramids she stumbled across in her dreams. Their peculiar shapes suggest some built them on purpose. For some reason, she can't get them out of her head. So intact and indestructible, there were small rocks interspread with bigger ones. It was amazing how the structure couldn't manage its balance. There were two pyramids. Even if no witchcraft had performed here, some kind of ritual surely had taken place. It was a private ceremony. Someone else here? What the fuck laughing at me? I looked around. Realized the fields of power wasn't flat anymore, but rather gently sloped downhill. Flowers fell into a funnel, spilling over the other side. Here, other laughter over there. It was soft and bright like the chime of bells. Carefully, I ventured down the hill. Flowers spread across like jewels woven in a braid. A few flowers spread over the many hills nearby, stretching up until a long winding river. Two people sat down by the riverside. Strange jewel in the dreams. Boy resembled Sensei, if not actually him. Do you remember resemble vividly, maybe both in manifestation of G's just desire to win over Sensei's heart? There was a skinny girl splashing her feet in the river and the water, a tall, broad young man holding her by the shoulders. Take that, serves you right. That's what you get for tickling me. Oh no, it's something to save me from this scary girl. So wrapped up in watching them mess around, I hadn't even realized I had come closer and sat nearby. Flower stems coiled around my legs while the grass blades tickled my belly. It was rude to watch, even though it was my dream. They seemed so real. Only a little while, then leave. Could there be something else other than this never-ending field? Tickled her a little. The girl fell laughing on the flower buds. Boy turned, smiling at her. My heart skipped a beat. Finally, chiseled on his face a familiar, gentle smile, those soft, kind eyes. It only belonged to one person in the universe. Can't be. Sensei? Paid me no attention, continuing to tickle the. What the fuck? Tingled fair hair, chrysanthemum leaves sticking out of it. Trying to hollow her eyes, clearly irritating her, yet she didn't bother to brush them away. In the days I examined him, recognized more and more familiar faces, and yet. No, this wasn't Sensei. He resembled my favorite teacher, but it wasn't him. I only felt truly relieved once I dropped the wall at the corner of his eye left. My heartbeat slowed in my chest, brim when an overwhelming joy. After all, I've seen someone resembling my beloved Sensei. When I regained my composure, the voice started hugging the girl again. She kept kicking her legs, but I thought the same enthusiasm. Tired? I wish I wasn't watching the river but the sky. Occasionally he followed her gaze before removing the petals from her hair. Trying to time, he looked over to my direction at first. He looked straight through me. Well, like, a little creepy. It was a mirage, nothing more than a part of their dream. Even so, it felt nice to be invisible sometimes. Brother? What is it? The girl pointed at a big fluffy cloud. You're searching for the fairies, but I don't see them. Didn't you say they'd never leave the sky? With cheeks and hands on their hips, she pouted. The boy smiled and my heart started racing again. That's right, the fairies are still here. We can only see them at night. They live on the stars, remember? Then why can't we see the stars? The girl looked at the boy. He gently stroked her hair. The sun is too bright, so our eyes can't see anything, but at night we can always find the fairies and even talk to them. Oh, but to talk to them, we have to wait so long. Why can't we be born fairies? Why does it take too much effort to turn into one? I'm scared. I want to be a fairy, to fly high in the sky, always smiling, living the most wonderful world. Always makes me serious, like a parent watching their child across the street at a red light. Or what I said, turning into a fairy is dangerous, and being one of them is even more dangerous. I had to sacrifice a lot for this. Go rummaged into her pockets, pulling out a few candies, a button, and a thimble. I'm ready, take me with you. The boy laughed. Sadly, I'm talking about the things we can't touch, like time or love. Like when you're going to leave us behind to go there? Well, I'm not exactly leaving you. I don't want to become some powerful fairy. I just want to reach the world and test myself. What is bro talking about? I'll be visiting you, sweetheart. Promise? Of course. If you lie and you don't visit, then I'll accept your harshest punishment. Girl laughed into... Sorrowful look lingered in her eyes. Dusting on my skirt, I turned away. Eavesdropping on other people's business. Taking a look at those strange stone structures, maybe I'll notice something curious. I made my way uphill. I glanced back a couple of times. The two carried on laughing and chattering, carefree as ever. It was eerie as if they were frozen. In that moment, doomed to live there for eternity. It's okay, it's just a dream. I wonder if I'll remember anything when I wake up. I don't ever want to come back here. I'm scared. Usually I forget everything, maybe because I never get to finish my dreams. An alarm, a message from Zoya, something always interrupts them. Only fragments of my dreams stay with me, but they always slip by, evenings dissolving in a blurry mess of vague memories. Finally reached the pyramids once again and studied the strange structures. I had a faint memory of them. Maybe I saw them in a documentary, maybe Stonehenge or some African tribes. Hey! An unexpected shout came from behind me. My heart skipped a beat again, not from joy, but from unease. Who's that and why can he see me? So he turned around. Huh. Maybe they're such an unfamiliar young man. His looks didn't match the beautiful scenery at all. Messy hair, a tired, sleepy gaze, and glasses. Well, would you look at that? Squinted, staring at the big, stylish square lenses. Maybe he wears them just for looks. Need to focus. Maybe I should start a conversation. Why are you so weird about glasses? They're just glasses. Take a drink of water. Though he was the one who called out, he seemed confused, just watching me, studying me closely. Then suddenly, it felt as though some kind of lab animal. Clear is in charge of this dream. Well, the friendliest way to begin is that my name's G's and yours. Can you see me? As he's so shocked, first he calls out to me, now he stares at me as if I'm a ghost. As you can see, can I stop hanging out with Nobel, or else my jokes will get even worse. I just seemed to ignore my words instead of walking closer. I found myself backing up, caught off guard by his scrutinizing look. Light breeze whipped a few petals in the air, shivered and hugged my shoulders. Something's wrong? Are you aware this is a dream? Strange question, my heart went heavily as fear seeped up from my depths of my unconscious. Definitely dreaming, otherwise you wouldn't be asking such a strange question. Huh. I don't like this guy. You're right, people don't usually ask that, not even in a dream. My name is Lucas, nice to meet you. I'm sure it is. Serious boy appeared in his dream. He wears quirky clothes. He's just wearing a blue shirt. He speaks in a flowery manner. He appears in others' dreams. What a weirdo. Lucas offered his hand and I found myself shaking it. You have an interesting name. My parents spent a long time deciding. In Greek it means light. What's your name? Staring at me intently, as if genuinely interested. Guess I'll have to disappoint him. I guess my parents didn't overthink too much when they chose my name. Maybe they just never told you why they picked it. Are you the first child? Seems rather lacking in tact. Or the question would seem to bother Lucas at all. It's a long-awaited child. Especially a firstborn. Parents research everything and choose a meaningful name. Staring at me with a sharp icy glare with who was a test subject. I'm sure they just didn't tell you. I mean, I don't really think that's true all the time. Like, especially nowadays, people just fucking name their fucking kids like Pikachu and shit. They don't give a fuck. I don't even think people like that should even be having kids. I never said it was the first child. No, but I think you are, though. How do you know? Lucas huffed in triumph. Reaction to give it away. Bluffing is the easiest way to check. Well played, I can't deny it. Sorry if I crossed the line. I was just curious. Maybe I should try sneaking off. I feel like something won't let me leave. Meanings carry real weight, especially in dreams like hidden symbols. I can no longer tell if he was speaking more to me or to himself. What a mysterious guy. When did we wake up? He sees me. He understands that we're in a dream, furthermore. He understands that we're in my dream. Maybe that's what kept me from running away. I had to ask my own questions. This is just me speaking my imagination, right? You don't exist in reality? Judging by his looks, the question hadn't bothered him at all. If anything, Lucas' eyes grew more interested in me. What about reality, G? How does he come up with such a strange and unpredictable question? Nope. Given in. I'll come up with a clever reply this time. Reality is what we can see. And dreams are kind of reality too. Just admit you're trying to dodge giving me a straight answer. Lucas huffed in triumph. Got me, so I'll respond regardless. This guy thinks he's in the Matrix. Under fragment of imagination, I accidentally exist. Also enter other dreams. Your ability? Why are your eyes glowing gold? Lucas hesitated before answering, as if gathering his thoughts. Finally, I had gotten him somewhere. Great, I'm celebrating beating a strange guy from my dream. What a dream. Things work a bit differently here. By the way, this is my real appearance. Is that yours? Wanting a clear answer. So I look. Weird, right? In dreams, you usually change to an animal or a different person. Who really does that in a dream? I don't do that. Yes, the dream is different from others. Something else because I met you. You can see his faint smile, but his eyes reflected an icy calm. You can share your hands to show you something interesting. Dream catcher from his pocket, so they clicked with each metallic chime. Want to take a closer look? Before I could, Lucas handed me the amulet. I carefully took it into my hands. Chill from the metal stung my fingertips, yet there was nothing suspicious about it. No eerie lights, nothing magic at all. Disappointing, actually, even the amulet was very beautiful. Were you expecting it to shine? You can't read thoughts, can you? Just that your face is very expressive. Man, I can't escape it. Even in my dream. Don't worry, in fact, it's kind of cute. I think that you're very cute. Let's meet again in your dreams. You're my manic pixie dream girl. Getting distracted by him, I found something more interesting. Looked at the dream catcher again. It didn't have a hole in the middle. It had 6 identical recesses. Interesting. And the grooves were ornate rooms, almost like from the Islanders, but not quite the same. It's written here. To be honest, I don't really know myself. Bought this anime in an antique shop, then I found it in travels into the dreams with me. Real? Yeah, amazing, right? Very amazing and very unbelievable. You don't believe me? I can let you see it for yourself. Really, but that means you won't have it anymore. It's fine. I might find another one someday. Maybe that shop still has something similar. So I have a memory of this interesting dream. Look at the dream catcher again. There's nothing to lose if I keep it yet. Lucas is far too mysterious, clearly hiding a lot. I don't trust you like this at all. I think that you're fucking weird. But I'll take it, I guess. You know, this guy's a semi advantage as soon as my alarm rings. Fine, I'll test your theory. If we ever meet again, you owe me one wish. Apparently saying out my chest screen music because Lucas began to laugh. Kidding. What is that? It was interesting me to walk towards the stone pyramid standing away. I followed without thinking. Know why they make these? I have no idea. Actually, tourists put them on the market and they've been here. I also need to make a wish. See the little stones around them? I looked closer and then noticed the boat structures were surrounded by circles of tiny stones. The higher the circle, the higher the chance a wish will come true. Dreams, so I gotta know the ritual. How come you don't? Perhaps I know before, but now I've completely forgotten. It's a pity. Saying this one was followed was so uncomfortable I couldn't help but laugh. What a weird dream I'm having today. If I can show me a person whose dreams make sense, I'd grant you a million wishes. Fine, you're right. Even so, I realize I'm dreaming. Now I can see everything so clearly. There were pyramids, fields, and people. People. Didn't you notice them over there at the couple? Those sorts of boy and girl who were now climbing in the field in our direction. Didn't notice. There's fairies. Sudden booming voice struck my ears like thunder. Don't look that way. By these shoulders, I didn't have time to turn to him. The girl's gaze froze me in place. Vision of blackness was like in my head. Ached as I cramped in a steel vice. Thought my head would burst. That was quick. Very warm hands wrapped around me. Managed to face Lucas. We meet again? I don't know. Lucas clearly wanted to say something, but the pain grew unbearable and the darkness surrounded me. Dun dun dun. That's it? Okay. Well, here are all the QR codes to grab. The gear. Or, well, I'll move out of the way, actually. If your phone wants to grab them, you can support Chrysanthemum here. And Onecellteam. Special thanks to Ringer and Anki. Yeah, it's a fair-sized demo. Just like a little over 2 hours, nothing wrong with that. And of course, if people wanted to pick other choices, they could fairly do that as well. This game is currently available on Steam. Please make sure that you check it out. Link to Onecellteam Social is also available in the description below. I'm excited to see where this will go as well. Very nostalgic vibes. You can see the inspiration from old themes in it. I do really appreciate that because a lot of my roots come from old visual novel anime and visual novels in general, so I appreciate that. I trust kind of like no one in this game besides Zoya. Everyone else is kind of weird so far. I don't know if we were meant to meet any other characters in this demo. I might check that out on my own sometime. But yeah, so far this is very good. Very interested in this. There's a survey Google form here as well. If you wanted to download the demo and leave your own comments to Onecellteam, tell them what they did good, or tell them what you think they can improve on, you can do that as well. Yeah, people with reverse caps, they are drawing those fucking S's in their notebooks. And God knows what else. We don't trust that. But, yeah, this is a very good game. I think that even the main character G herself seems suspicious, honestly. I don't get what her fucking problem is. But I will be playing this again in the future once it's fully released. Like to see how dark it actually gets. It's told to be a dark slice of life visual novel, and I do wonder what makes it so dark. The dream portion does remind me a lot of key visual novels. They do typically have a dream world that the main character visits. So the homage to a lot of the key visual stuff really shines through with this. I don't know if that's completely the intent or not. I feel like it is. The UI and everything is so similar. The vibes are pretty similar as well. So I do greatly appreciate and enjoy that. Alright. Kind of like a bit of a shortish stream today. Kind of in like the middle of what I normally do. But thank you so much for checking out Chrysanthemum on the way to sweet dreams today with me. Once again, this demo is available now if you want to change your choices, pick a different route than me, make sure that you check it out, and continue supporting Onecellteam in their creation of Chrysanthemum on the way to sweet dreams. Tomorrow I'll probably be playing, hopefully 2 games, to continue on to the Otome game celebration. Thank you so much for joining me today. With that, I'm going to be heading out, probably drinking a lot of water, and shortly going to bed. So thank you so much for hanging out today. Hope you have a good rest of your evening, night, or morning, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me with Chrysanthemum on the way to sweet dreams, and I hope you have sweet dreams yourself. With that, goodbye!